Hello, everyone. For fans of bodybuilding and iron sports, Shawn Ray is a man who needs no introduction, a global star. His path to fame was not thorny and long. As soon as they saw Ray, the world fell in love with his smile and his muscles. Yes, he participated in the Mr. Olympia finals as many as 13 times, but he never became a champion. However, he managed to achieve as much as possible to become the epitome of the ideal bodybuilder. That's what we're going to talk about today. Ray was born on September 9, 1965 in the town of Fullerton, California. He was the eighth child in the family. Until he was 18, Shawn didn't even know what bodybuilding was. However, after going to college, he started going to the gym to properly prepare his body for the football season. At that time, Ray weighed 75 kilograms with a height of 165 centimeters and wanted to become a little stronger and bigger. He set himself up for a long 6-month job, but after just a couple of months, he discovered that he had achieved the planned results. Shawn was literally overwhelmed with enthusiasm, and the only thing he needed to progress even faster was the guidance of an experienced mentor. However, chance helped. One day, John Brown, a two-time Mr. Universe athlete who enjoyed great popularity and untouchable authority, appeared in the gym where Ray was studying. "What kind of competition are you preparing for, kid?" the 110-kilogram, 188-centimeter giant asked Ray. "I was on the podium before I could blink," Shawn recalled. "It was the Teenage Orange Coast tournament, and I took second place in my class. Plus, I got a prize for the best posing. Just a week later, I competed in the California Gold Cup and in one fell swoop became the middleweight champion, won the prize as the most muscular athlete, and won the absolute championship. I weighed only 73.5 kilograms then. Needless to say, I fell in love with bodybuilding even more after that." While continuing to study the wisdom of business in college, Ray, under the guidance of John Brown, in just 2 years approached the threshold beyond which a professional career begins. He still defeated everyone and everything. His only misfire was the defeat in 1986 at the Juniors Mr. Tournament, America, from the famous later bodybuilder Eddie Robinson. "I've never lost to this guy again, though," Ray adds, recalling that episode. In 1987, Shawn created a real miracle. He managed to win the American National Championship on his first attempt, defeating such monsters as Phil Hill, Vince Taylor, and Troy Zuccolotto. Of course, Joe Weider, the father of modern bodybuilding, immediately set his sights on a handsome young man with amazing muscles, although Ray had become a real star long before that. "By the time I became Mr. California, I could say that without even knowing about the cards, I was already considered a professional." After signing a contract under which Ray received $10,000 a month, he immediately left his father's house and settled in a separate apartment. At the same time, the young talent continued to gnaw the granite of science, regularly attending college and studying sociology. Skeptics expected that Ray was about to face harsh professionals and fail, but that didn't happen. At the Night of Champions competition in 1988, Shawn finished 4th, earning the right to finally perform at the Olympia. "I was over the moon," he admits. However, the Olympia debut did not work out, only 13th place. "At the beginning of my career, I lived with my parents, ate, slept, trained twice a day, and was completely focused on bodybuilding. But when I turned professional, I started living separately with all the consequences that followed," Ray admitted. "I also had to travel a lot around America and Europe with guest postings and seminars, and this affected the quality of my workouts. But 13th place at my first Olympia was a good lesson, and subsequently I never dropped below 5th place. This failure forced Ray to train even more fiercely in the gym, and the very first starts of 1990 showed that the list of the elite of professional bodybuilding had become one name longer. Ray won the Ironman and Arnold Classic tournaments without a chance for competitors, but he was severely disappointed. The governing body of the tournament decided to conduct a doping test at the tournament, and Ray was among the 8 disqualified losers. A steroid was found in his blood, and the loss of $60,000 in prize money was added to the moral damage. Mike Ashley was declared the winner. After that, Shawn made a vow to himself to never give up on difficulties and not stop there. Since then, Ray has performed exclusively at the Olympia for a decade, showing incredibly stable results. Even when hypermass became fashionable in the mid-90s and forced such prominent personalities as Lee Labrada to leave big-time sports, Ray stayed afloat by contrasting incredible aesthetics and fantastic muscle development with rough volume. When I started my pro career, I aspired to win the main title, Mr. Olympia. I wasn't particularly interested in the others, Ray admitted, and I've never competed for money. I've always been able to earn money anyway. Besides, when I started performing, I wanted to keep my health. I was lucky enough to get by without serious injuries. I am full of energy and feel great. I would also like to note that I have beaten the winners of such tournaments as the Arnold Classic and the Night of Champions, Vince Taylor, Kevin Levrone, Lee Labrada, Nasser El Sonbody, Flex Wheeler, and even the great Ronnie Coleman more than once at the Olympia. The ones I never managed to beat were Lee Haney and Dorian Yates. Ray's incredible stability is confirmed by the fact that since 1990 he has not missed a single Olympia. At the same time, Ray demonstrated a rare stability of results all the time, ending up in the top 5. Did he have the opportunity to take the title at least once? Yes and no. Perhaps in 1994, when he was simply in phenomenal shape and Dorian Yates was weakened by an arm injury, Ray had the most realistic chance of getting the Sandow statuette. But alas, Ray himself explains the reason for his failures this way. For the past 15 years, people have consistently given the title of Mr. Olympia to guys over 180 centimeters tall and weighing at least 110 kilograms. And I'm still confident that I won in '94. Yates was the current Mr. Olympia. He was much taller and heavier than me, but I was tougher. Dorian had a lot of water under her skin, but the judges decided otherwise. By and large, Ray can be understood because comparing his chiseled figure with piles of muscles is comparable to comparing an apple and an orange. Figure out what's best. If the Olympia had been held as before in weight categories, then Ray would have won the coveted title at least twice. But all this is from the category of dreams. As for training, Shawn has never been an enforcer. He couldn't be seen in the gym with bulging eyes, squeezing a 200-kilogram barbell while lying down. Moderate weights, average number of repetitions from 8 to 12%. About 4 exercises per body part, and the workouts in the good old 3+1 schedule were Ray's workouts. Before the competition, about 3 months before the start, Ray started to swing twice a day. He usually worked out once a day and constantly changed the order of exercises and training. Shawn Ray's last tournament was the 2001 Olympia, where he took an honorable 4th place. But even before the competition, he firmly decided that he would leave. But why? Everything is logical. Athletes have become more and more fashionable every year, even to the detriment of relief and aesthetics in general. However, the contract with Weider continued until 2005 and was terminated only after Old Joe sold his media empire to AMI Corporation, and they did not need performing athletes. The problem with many current pros is that they are overly fixated on bodybuilding. That's not what Ray is like. Life doesn't consist of just bodybuilding, so when I wasn't preparing for competitions, things like future planning, family, and recreation came first. Ray is very fond of comfort, expensive cars, and luxury homes. He enjoys traveling, dancing, playing tennis and basketball, and listening to music. His favorite performers are Toni Braxton, Mariah Carey, and Aerosmith. Shawn Ray got married only when he finished performing. The chosen one was former fitness athlete Christy Alvarado. The couple had 2 children. While still an active athlete, Ray once said, "What motivates me to move on?" In particular, in observing the success of other athletes. For example, the victory of Cassius Clay over Sonny Liston made an indelible impression on me at the time. In general, I consider Muhammad Ali to be the standard athlete. Pleasant appearance, well-delivered speech, confidential communication. It's thanks to Ali that I want to flutter like a butterfly and sting like a bee in the gym. Michael Jordan remains another example for me in sports. My desire to be the best in the world is a spark that turns into a raging inferno. By the time I'm about to climb under the barbell, I can totally imagine this hell with me, and I'm burning with the desire to be the best. That's what Shawn Ray is all about. And as always, I will be grateful for your support. It helps in the development of the channel. Please like, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, and do not forget to click on the bell so as not to miss the new release. Thanks for watching. Sports Guru was with you. See you later.